Mr. Hueth.
Hello, I am the Red King, and this is our E3 review.
We're going to be talking about stuff that we found interesting about E3, stuff that we didn't find interesting at E3. Pretty much, we're going to talk about E3.
Top picks, surprising games, all that kind of stuff, and you get to join us on our magical journey.
If you don't agree with some of the things that we say, then just, like, comment, subscribe to the video. If you do agree, like, comment, subscribe in the video.
So, first topic, new titles coming out. Well, at least the new ones that were announced this year. Such as the Assassin's Creed Unity! That's a new one to the addition of the saga.
It is. I actually am quite excited for it. I know there's a whole bunch of controversy over it, and I can see where some people are upset, but honestly, I haven't played an Assassin's Creed since, like, the first one. I just couldn't get a handle of it, so I've had my own personal boycott against the series the entire time. And now Unity looks like it's going to be more fun because it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I really like the setup for it, how it, more or less watching their press conference, how they set it up to seamlessly integrate multiplayer into the single-player story while still having it make sense of the whole thing. Because it was just the simple mechanics of it too, changing up how they would roll rather than just jumping straight off, made the biggest difference for a long-time Assassin's Creed player. But moving on, I know you're really excited about this one, Bloodborne. I literally only saw their initial trailer for it, and I'm super excited.
I saw it, I'm like, this is probably going to be a very interesting game.
My dog.
It's, I saw a little bit of gameplay kind of floating around on the internet, and the gameplay wasn't quite perfect, and it's still pretty much in alpha. It's not, done deal, so you just have to keep paying attention to it, and hopefully it'll get better from there.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what you can expect from pre-alpha games such as that. We'll move on next to the Far Cry 4.
It seemed to be that this E3, they were really trying to push, like, oh, we have this crazy villain, he's the most intense person, it's crazy. It seemed like the dude from 3 was still crazy, but he was a good kind of crazy, like, he was a good character, he was still unpredictable, but he had motive. It was very functional. But the dude in 4 seems like they're like, you thought that guy was crazy? Look how crazy this dude is! He's stabbing his own dude! He's covered in blood! You're his best friend! It just kind of seemed very, very over the top. It's a cinematic preview, and you can't tell much from that.
Yeah, I did get to see a little bit of gameplay on that one, and it was very interesting. The gunfighting and everything like that seemed like a typical Far Cry game.
Yeah.
Because I played through 3, and 3 was pretty straightforward with the shooting, but it was more interesting because of the open world environment. And that I feel like that's definitely what they're going to offer in this. I'm just really curious on how much bigger it's going to be, because the other one was a whole island. So I'm really hoping they give you kind of that opportunity with, to be able to explore the mountains and kind of see how that is and get more detailed into it and be a part of the world like you were in 3, but maybe try to enhance on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We're coming to one of your favorite games of E3, which is Mortal Kombat X.
MKX! I am super excited. I'm still super terrible at fighting games.
Oh, you're terrible at fighting games. I can't play fighting games with you.
But Mortal Kombat, I'm very happy the series rebooted itself on MK9. But MKX looks like it's going to be really, really interesting. The new roster of fighters, which I'm super excited to see them. So much I can say and can't say, because a lot of stuff pertains to 9's story, and I know stories are the most important part of a fighting game.
Oh, well, because you got to keep that in. You got to keep that in mind. Story is very important.
It's super important. Community. It looks like it's going to be Injustice style gameplay, which is pretty much just advanced MK9.
Personally, I hate fighting games. terrible at fighting games. I'm actually excited for MKX as well. It seemed like they did make it a little bit more accessible to people who suck at it like myself.
Apparently, Injustice was really good at people who weren't really into fighting games. It helped them feel like, oh, I can actually play this. And then you went online, and it was a whole new story because the online community for fighting games is crazy. It's like either you suck really bad or you can't get touched. It's
flawless victory status on that one.
It's kind of crazy, but I don't know. MK10, it looks like it's going to be a good addition to the series.
The scenery was also part of the fight too. So I remember watching a bit where they had Scorpion fighting one of the new characters, Ferrator.
Oh, yeah.
Like that big giant dude with the girl in the back. And
Yeah.
Scorpion was using the background to be able to like jump around and get around the giant guy even when he got pinned. But it was interesting to see that they kind of included that into it.
So one of the games I want to talk about, which I think everyone wants to talk about, The Order, 1886.
The Order 1886. That actually looks really cool. One of the parts I really loved about that game is that it went from cinematic to gameplay, no cuts.
Oh, yeah.
There was no differentiating between the cinematic and the gameplay because it was the exact same graphic. You literally were looking at the gameplay the whole time. Watching actual gameplay and everything like that and seeing how their weapons work, because they played with one gun, specifically it was the thermite flak gun. It literally coated them in thermite, in like that kind of dust material, and then it would fire a flare, and it would instantly incinerate anything that the thermite had covered. I also they kind of showed a little bit of the quick time events that they included in it, and how you can differentiate between a lethal kind of quick time event and a non-lethal quick time event, which made it kind of interesting to the gameplay, because I don't know how it's going to affect it, such as if there's a morality bar or anything like that. But other than that, it looked really cool. They also introduced the werewolf setting, or at least the supernatural creature that they've been fighting the whole time. So it was cool to see that get introduced as well. So I now understand and see who the enemy is, or well, their enemy is.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about a new game. It's a new IP, No Man's Sky.
Oh man, No Man's Sky. That was a phenomenal looking game, because I didn't get to see it initially when they first presented it. But after watching a couple videos, their first initial release, their trailer, and then seeing some more stuff about it, I am so excited for that game, because it looked amazing. It did have a slight cartoony look to it, but everything was just so well done for an alpha. It looked great.
Well, it's still pushing a lot of visual boundaries. I like it. Seamless transitions from land to space. It could go in an instant. You take off, you fly, and you're like, oh, what's going on? Oh, I'm on another planet. And it looked really fun.
Because I ended up watching another video about how they talked to developers about it and everything, and they talked about how every world is procedurally generated, uniquely generated to every single player that jumps into the game. And initially they talk about how there's a star map and stuff like that, and the star map's going to be completely black, because no one's discovered anything. But as you go through the game and you discover planets and species, and that's where that kind of, that window pops up where it's new species discovered, or new material discovered, and it pops up on other people's maps. So then I can go visit those planets later on, but it always tells people who discovered what, when they discovered it, and it kind of gives players that feel of, it's going to give that players the feel of adventure.
Yeah.
Because it's you're space explorers, you're going out and you're seeing the world. So I know this one is a personal favorite. This is close to mine and your heart. Is Star Wars Battlefront.
Oh, I wish they would have showed more.
I know. I really wish they had shown a lot more, but from what the small amount they actually showed, we got to see backgrounds they did. So the entire worlds they made, those looked fantastic.
They did.
Oh my god.
I'm really, really hesitant about this game. I'm probably going to buy it when it comes out. Don't want it to be Battlefield. I love Battlefield, but Battlefront isn't Battlefield. Battlefield is all about, using your environment and blowing stuff up and beep, 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 it's fun.
Yeah.
But Battlefront was kind of the middle ground between Battlefield and Call of Duty, where in Battlefield you have to work as a team, you have to be, strategic, you have to be careful. In Call of Duty you can just 360 no-scope people, NBD, look at my jaunts, it's amazing. In Battlefront, you still couldn't just run out there and just beep, 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 beep. But you could still run and have fun and just shoot and realize, I'm in Star Wars!
Right.
Woo! And
Yeah.
it was just an amazing time.
Still an amazing game, and hopefully that they stay true to that. Especially since they gave it to a whole new company and whatnot.
Hope it does well. Please do well.
So, I kind of want to throw this one out here. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare and Battlefield Hardline.
Okay.
Which one do you like better? What do you feel had more advantages? What looked better? I mean, overall, which one do you like better?
And we can't say neither. I would have to say Call of Duty. I'm not a Call of Duty person, I'm a Battlefield person, but the thing is, the Battlefield system is great when you're on a battlefield. In Battlefield Hardline, they're really pressing that, it's cops versus robbers. That brings up two things. One, the destructibility of the environment is going to be ridiculous. Oh, we're in the middle of a city. Why aren't we just, in the middle of a heist when we're trying to steal some money, destroy like 8 skyscrapers? No big deal. The other thing that really makes me angry is when you were playing Battlefield and it was like America versus Russia, or like the Russians versus the Chinese. It wasn't good versus bad. It was an army versus another army. This one's the cops and the robbers, and you have some weird moral compass that's all like, sometimes robbers are like Robin Hood. It's like, okay, cool, but it's going to be law versus not law. And for the most part, that tends to be good versus evil. But in Call of Duty, it's just kind of like, it's Call of Duty in the future. And, well, you can't really argue too much with the Call of Duty brand. They know how to make a game, they know how to make it work.
I have to agree with you. Battlefield Hardline just looks too generic to me. Like, it looks great graphically, and it could have cool mechanics and stuff like that. As a game, why would I even care? What was your biggest surprise at E3 this year? What really caught your attention and everything?
The thing that really surprised me is how much I wasn't really intrigued by Sunset Overdrive. When I first saw Sunset Overdrive, it was a bright, colorful, adventure, grind-style shooter. I'm just like, this is something completely new, something that we don't see all that often, and just kind of thrown in with, bright colors. And we've all been playing these games with really dark colors, or they're gritty. I love, Gears of War.
Gears of War.
That is a dark-looking game. But Sunset Overdrive, the style looks awesome. The gameplay is kind of intriguing. I like the fact that you have to run around and be moving the entire time. Don't want to get hit. I think it was just a personal thing. I couldn't quite engage myself in it.
For me personally, it still was No Man's Sky.
Oh yeah.
For me, because I've been into adventure, survival, crafting games. I played a lot of Minecraft, played a lot of Space Engineers.
Yeah.
That is my current favorite right now. Just going to town on that game. But I really love the exploration, the coloring, the different species of creatures. The whole thing just really spoke to me, and it was I'm super into Space Sims. Yeah. Long story short, that's what it is, and I'm really excited to see where this one's going to take us. We already talked about this one in depth, so I'm really hoping I can see where this goes. I'd like to know what because I have a very specific list of games that I'm looking forward to right now, but I had to really narrow it down to the top 5 that are coming out, whether they be just announced this year or they've announced before, but they're just coming out this year. I mean, which ones are you looking forward to the most?
Top 5. I would have to say one of them obviously has to be Mortal Kombat X. I'm super looking forward to that. It's been a while since I played Mortal Kombat, so I'm happy it's back. Thank you, Ed Boon. Evolve looked really good. I'm currently kind of skeptical just because I like the idea. It's 4v1 and the one's super powerful, and I remember Left 4 Dead was always fun, and it was always terrifying when a human tank ran in. You're like, oh my god! And you'd have to fight for your life. But I'm afraid that's going to be just that, and not a lot else. They'll probably add more modes and all that, but just kind of hesitant about it. I'm also looking forward to, of course, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Very in-depth that you don't need to do anymore.
Smash Bros, of course. Love Smash Bros. I'm looking forward to just playing Smash Bros again. It's gonna be amazing. Assassin's Creed Unity. I don't know why I forgot that, but that's why. I don't play Assassin's Creed. So this one was kind of an upset. If I could take back the Sunset Overdrive thing, it'd have to be Unity. Unity took me by surprise at how much I thought I was gonna like it. I'm like, you know what? I can get behind this game. I think it's gonna be pretty fun.
Definitely for my top 5, the first one is Unity. Assassin's Creed Unity, because seeing this multiplayer, watching some videos, seeing the multiple quests, and especially how you don't have to participate in all of them, have to do all this extra stuff if I don't want to. After that is No Man's Sky. That's the big one at this one. No Man's Sky.
If you could take one thing away from it, it's No Man's Sky.
That's it. Another one for me is Shadow of Mordor. So when I first saw it, I was like, this is going to be an Assassin's Creed clone. I'm going to be really annoyed that you're doing this. But then I've watched a dozen videos on that. Just all of them, all the playthroughs and everything like that. And what really gets me is the Nemesis system. And that's their new system they developed in there, where it's literally every primary enemy you fight, or every named enemy, is someone you make. So it's never the same person twice. You're always going to have a different enemy. They're going to have different personality traits. There's different tactics to take them down. It's always going to be unique to your style, and you can always make new ones. So if you kill someone off, well, let's say one of the no-name orcs murders you, he suddenly gains power, and he gets a name, and he moves up in the ranks. And it's also another form for you to use their system too, where you mind control one of the orcs, and you help him escalate through the ranks so that he becomes one of your soldiers, and he builds the army for you throughout Mordor. So it's like, I really look forward to like the different ways I'll be able to play through it and build on that, and use the Nemesis system to my advantage. Maybe start off with just some random no-name orc, let him murder me so that he moves up, and then take over him and watch him and help him move. Or maybe I just go straight for the big guys and take them while I can. I don't know, it's just, there's so much I think I can do, and there's so much world I'm going to have to play with, it's going to be fun. But the next one I think is The Division.
Oh yeah.
The Division I'm really excited for because I have a new PC, so I can play all that stuff. But overall, it looks amazing. The way they've set up, how you can change your class on the fly, you can use different skills whenever you want, what your base of operations is, and how your heads-up display kind of looks. Like, everything looks normal until you're looking at something. Like, if you look at a street name, it like pops it up right there for you. Or if you look at a building and it gives the name of the building, and it kind of just gives you, I don't know, it gives me this nice little like technological feel to it, while still being set in the world of reality. And my last one on the list is The Witcher 3.
Yes.
I'm a big Witcher fan. The first game was amazing because it gave you it only gave you 3 different paths to choose from, but it definitely gave you one extra path that normal people usually get, good and evil. I'm the good guy and the bad guy. This one you could also choose the Witcher's path, which is like, I'm staying in the middle, I'm not going to worry about this, like my job is to kill monsters. In the second one, there was 36 different endings. I'm really excited to see Witcher 3 and see the new world development, how much bigger it is, how much fun it's going to be, all the side quests and whatnot. So I'm really looking forward to The Witcher 3 coming out.
So, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Well, thank you for joining us on this segment, where hopefully next year we'll be able to be on time with E3. This year we got a little behind. But thank you all for joining us on this one. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. Yell at us. Tell us how much you love us. And always, remember who you are and what you are.
Don't cause any trouble out there in that world.
And don't feed the dinosaurs.
Please don't feed dinosaurs.